Down.
Who gets shot in Emmerdale? 7 characters who could be in big trouble this week. Someone's life will hang in the balance in Thursday's episodes. Emmerdale airs another highly dramatic double bill on Thursday evening, May 24th, as an unlucky villager gets shot at home farm. Just 1 week on from Gerry Roberts' tragic death, the life of another character will hang in the balance as Ross Barton is hell-bent on revenge. Wednesday's visit to the village saw deranged gangster Connor tip off Ross about how Joe Tate tried to cover up the truth about his acid attack. This revelation sets the stage for Thursday's nail-biting scenes, as Ross demands answers and takes no prisoners. But who'll be shot as the drama comes to a head? Here are 7 of the most likely possibilities. 1. Joe Tate. Joe is the character who's looking most vulnerable in Thursday's episodes, as Ross loads up an old-fashioned gun with 1 bullet and threatens to kill the multi-millionaire. Playing a high-stakes game of Russian roulette, Ross fires the gun at Joe each time he doesn't get a straight answer, unaware of exactly where the bullet is located. Scary stuff. Ned Porteous, who plays Joe, has already told us that his character is unlikely to reveal the truth behind the acid attack, even under duress, because he's so desperate to protect Debbie. Michael Parr, aka Bad Boy Ross, also reckons that his character couldn't care less whether Joe lives or dies. One thing we do know for sure is that Joe features in next week's Emmerdale spoilers, so if he is the shooting victim, it looks like we can expect a typically speedy soap recovery. 2. Graham Foster. Joe's loyal manservant Graham is also caught up in the terrifying situation at home farm when Ross arrives with the gun. Joe and Graham have one of the most complex relationships in Soapland, and it seems likely that Graham would always risk his own life to save Joe's. So, could Graham find himself shot while trying to protect the troublesome Mr. Tate? Much like Joe though, Graham features in next week's official spoilers, so we're not too worried about his future even if he is the victim. 3. Debbie Dingell. Debbie is never too far away whenever there's a dramatic situation involving Ross, so could she find herself drawn into the gun terror? Debbie doesn't really feature in Thursday's spoilers for the shooting, but that could just be a clever trick to throw everyone off the scent. With Joe's life in danger, perhaps Debbie will jump in to protect him at the 11th hour and pay the price by getting caught in the crossfire? Or maybe Joe will let the truth slip about Debbie's guilt, leading to Ross shooting her in a rage. Debbie being the victim would certainly explain why she's mysteriously absent from next week's spoilers, and why episodes airing next week see her dad Kane determined to find out exactly what happened in the shooting. 4. Moira Dingle. Moira is the other main person in the village who Kane is fiercely protective over, so it's possible that she's the reason why he's doing so much detective work over the shooting in the aftermath next week. Moira has been involved in the acid attack story for a while now, as she's protected Kane and Debbie from Ross's fury by concealing the truth about what really happened with Simon. Could news of Ross's gun-wielding antics bring Moira to home farm to calm things down, putting herself in the firing line? 5. Ross Barton. Ross is the one waving a gun around in this storyline, but could the tables turn on him at the last minute? With Graham's impressive and unrivaled fighting skills in the mix, it's certainly possible that Ross could find himself overpowered and take a bullet himself in the chaos that follows. We know Ross survives this week as he's in future spoilers, but as we mentioned earlier, soap recoveries can be remarkably quick. 6. Simon McManus. We haven't seen scumbag Simon since he disappeared with Joe's hush money, but could he make a surprise return as this storyline comes to a head? Perhaps he could conveniently come back to demand even more money from Joe just as Ross is making threats with that gun? It's fair to say that Emmerdale fans were pretty dissatisfied when Simon walked free at the acid attack trial and was then seen to profit from his vile actions, which is probably not the best message for a soap to send out. Could Simon being shot, and perhaps dying, be the moment he gets the comeuppance he deserves? 7. Connor. Villain of the fortnight. Connor is another character who's looking easily dispensable if the bloodthirsty Emmerdale bosses want to actually kill someone in this shooting storyline. With the thug involved in so much dodgy activity, nobody, on screen or off, would really be shedding any tears if Connor did meet his maker. In Wednesday's episode, Connor warned Ross that he'd want something in return if he gave up his knowledge about the acid attack. So, could he pop up in the village again looking for repayment and find himself caught in the crossfire of Ross's drama with Joe?